So as you can see, I've got the press set to 350 and a resting temp of 355, and I've got it set for 35 seconds. Now I've got my cup and I want to try and wipe it down so I can get any fibers off of it, so that way when it presses, those fibers don't get on there. It can mess with the print if there are any fibers stuck on it, so make sure you wipe it down. Now, a lot of cups don't really have a crease, but this is a shimmer tumbler, so it does have a seam in the cup. So I like to find that seam and match it up with the design. And I'm wrapping it around to meet up with the seam. A little side note for anyone who is printing on their own at home: if you're using a regular printer and not a printer that is made for sublimation, you need to make sure to flip the image of anything that has any text on it, or the text will end up pressing backwards. I have a sublimation printer, so it prints the proper way. Now, you want to make sure you've got a very nice tight wrap on the tumbler. And I normally start in the middle, as you see, and then work my way up. But I'm always pushing in, as you see, around the tumbler to get any excess air out. There's a lot of people that can only use 3 pieces of tape for pressing, but I really like to make sure that my press is absolutely perfect and there's no ghosting or anything. So I go ahead and tape all the way down, and I'm actually going to take my fingernail and run it down the seam just to help make sure that there is no way any air can get out. Air within the design, under the tape, in between the paper and the tumbler, that can cause ghosting. Nobody likes ghosting, so best to avoid it any way we can. So now I'm going to go in, and I like to put my crease. A lot of people start on top, but I start on the side. So I'll put it in with the seam on the side and put it into the middle of the press, and I'll close it. And it's going to take a minute. You'll see the temperature will drop. You see it's already starting to do it because the blank is not 350 degrees already. It's at a lower temperature. So once you put it in the press, it's going to cool down and gradually work its way up, back up to 350 degrees as the blank reaches that temperature. It'll actually get to 355. That's the resting temp. And once it hits that, it'll start a countdown. And that will begin our sublimation process. All right, now as you can see, once it hits 355, the counter starts to count down. Now I have mine set at 35. Everyone has their own little temp, but I prefer setting mine at 35 seconds. Now, once it counts down to 0, it's going to beep at you. And that's when you'll open it up. You make sure to have your gloves because this is really, really hot. Do not burn yourself. And you'll pull it out and rotate it 90 degrees. And so like this, the seam is going to be on the very bottom. And then you'll put it back in the middle and close it up and let it go through another cycle. All right, now that the next 35 seconds is up, you'll rotate it another 90 degrees so that the crease is now on the other side from where you originally started. It's exactly 180 degrees from where you started. Once it's there, you put it in, close it up, and it'll count down another 35 seconds. And now we have another 35 seconds gone. So we're going to pull it out. We're going to rotate it 90 degrees again. So this time the crease is on the very top. And then you're going to slide it in, close it up, and let it sit for 35 seconds. Now, a lot of times people will stop at this point. They'll go ahead and be done. But I know for myself personally, I had some issues with ghosting, so I preferred putting my ends in again, just to help make sure that there was no ghosting and I didn't have any issues, and mine turned out perfect now. So I highly recommend doing this. And I played with different positions on where to position it so you get the best results. Now you're going to repeat the whole process again, but you're only going to put the tumbler in halfway. And you want to make sure it's in halfway, because it seems to heat better towards the center. So that's where I've had the best results. So position it to where it's halfway in and repeat the whole process again, the 4 times. Now you've done this end, we're going to flip it over and we're going to do the same exact thing 4 times to the other side. Yay, we're done. Okay, now we don't have to do anything else to this, but I do like to let it cool a little bit, make sure that the inks get fully absorbed into the blank. I leave it maybe 5 minutes. All right, now that this is fully cooled off, we're going to go ahead and peel the tape off and see how this has turned out. Wow, wow, wow. Check out how vibrant and beautiful these colors are. As you can see, there's no ghosting on it whatsoever. Not on the top or on the bottom, but just bright, beautiful colors. This process works so well for me, and all my designs press just beautifully. I like to do branding on the bottom of my tumblers so that no matter where my tumbler is, if someone has it, they can find my information on the bottom of the tumbler. It includes my link tree information so they can find me anywhere online, which will direct them back to my shop. As you can see, I just tape it in 4 sides, just like I would tape a design, and I'll press it in just a second with my mini Cricut press. Okay, so now I have my mini Cricut press and it's fully heated up. I have it set to max and I'm going to set it on the left half side of it and let that sit for about 10-15 seconds. And then I'm going to move it over to the right side and let that sit for 10-15 seconds. And then I'm going to turn it and put it on the top half for 10-15 seconds. And then move it to the bottom half for 10-15 seconds. I'll go ahead and show the process sped up so you can see it as I'm doing it. But this is how I apply my branding to the bottom of mine. So now we're going to go ahead and remove the tape and take off the sublimation paper so you can see how the branding looks. As you can see, I also include instructions like not microwavable. And I also include rubber bottoms. And finally, the lid. Thank you for watching, and I hope you were able to find this tutorial helpful and easy. If you have any questions, please let me know in the comments.